It's 7 o'clock on a Monday afternoon, so you know what time it is. It's time for your weekly episode of SCV Chat. Before we begin, please remember the views and opinions expressed on this broadcast are not necessarily those of the SCV, GEC, any division, brigade, camps, or any other subsidiaries. We have the lovely executive director on tonight to talk about the great things going on at HQ.
I don't know how
And
I am, but yeah, I'm here.
We dragged him on another episode. We have blackmail on Adam. That is the reason he comes on so much. We got some good stuff on Adam. Bless his heart. Part of the deal is I can't throw him under the bus and ask for words of wisdom anymore. if you've been on the show for a long time, you remember those.
Yep.
But how's everybody doing this evening? Well, I see Cousin Vinny in the chat. I see the legend, past CIC, Paul Gramlin.
The legend
in the making himself. And how's your week been, Adam? I know it's Monday, so it's kind of hard to tell off the bat, but usually Mondays are the most interesting.
Well, I'm going to quote the legend. Every time I ask the legend how he's doing, he says, "Well, I woke up this side of the grass." So that it's a good day.
Amen. When the Lord gives you another day at that rate, it's just a good day. Oh, Mr. Sean lost a camp member today. We are giving you our thoughts and prayers, sir. I hate seeing us lose a member, and I know it hurts all of your brothers in the SCV as well. We'll be praying for his family and the camp.
Absolutely. Yep. We're losing a lot of members. The COVID has not been good to us member-wise. We've lost probably, I'd say, 300 folks to COVID this past year. So our membership, because of that. But there's other things going on too. It's always bad to lose a member, but recruiting their memory.
Oh yeah, you got to get out, got to keep the cause alive, especially since we all love and care about this cause. And if I go out, that's one thing I would love to know that everybody's doing is you're going out there, you're keeping the charge going, and you're doing it all for our ancestors. Yeah, we got a great episode tonight. Apparently, you have an unofficial nickname now from Victor Smith, the Orange Man.
Yeah, it's funny he should mention that. Using my Victor Smith Tumblr tonight. You see that pretty picture he has on there. So, yeah, I can see where he comes up with Orange Man.
The seal of the executive director of the SCV. That is a seal that has a great deal of respect, power, and honor behind it.
Man, you're full of it tonight.
I had a test today, so yeah, I'm running off a couple hours of sleep, so it should be an interesting episode. But we got a great one here for tonight. Without that, I will let Adam get into it. We'll take a commercial break somewhere in the middle whenever Adam kind of deems worthy. He's the star tonight. He is the star in all our eyes tonight, and we will let him take it over from there.
Well, we usually start out with what's happening at Elm Springs. We'll talk a little bit about what's happening at the museum in Elm Springs, and things are trucking right on along. Not a lot of people. We haven't made this announcement yet, but our sales manager Holly Pittman's no longer with us at HQ. So if you've got orders placed at HQ, bear with us. So we'll get them to you as soon as we can, but we're kind of shorthanded right now, doing the best that we can. We always try to do the best that we can, but I know sometimes, especially if you're ordering things for Christmas or you have events coming up, you're wanting your items as fast as you can. Just bear with us. If it's a real emergency, call me, and I'll try to process as soon as I can. Of course, we've got a lot of programs going on. The Friends of the Museum, Friends of Elm Springs, both of those still happening. Both of them are still accepting members. So if you would like to be a member of either organization, I see the producer has got the link to the application scrolling at the bottom of the page. Send it in. It's a great way to help, great way to stay involved and informed about what's happening at your museum and at Elm Springs, your house. I mean, this is Hearth and Home. Oh man, Vinny, I don't know. It means I'm getting gray, I think.
I'm about to say, cousin Vinny. I love my father more than anybody. But Adam, did I ever tell you about that inside joke that J-Bo is probably secretly my father?
No, I've heard you call him Dad, but I just didn't know the inside.
It's just funny because I'm just so much taller than J-Bo, God rest his soul. So I just love going up to people. This is my dad. Because my actual father, the voice of the Confederation, is 6'6". He's intimidating. He's basically John Wayne in the 21st century. And so when I tell people, that's my father, it makes sense. You don't see him scratching your head, but I love the fact when I tell people J-Po's my dad, and I have told a couple people just get so confused. You can see it on their face. They're like, "Comes on right here."
I'll be on the mother's side, I guess.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It has been going through their minds.
Before I let Adam carry on, remember, sharing is caring. Please share tonight's episode. Please share any episode of SCV Chat you can get your hands on, and let's keep reaching. Let's keep breaking our milestones. Let's keep breaking barriers. Let's keep breaking that glass ceiling and making sure that SCV Chat is seen by everyone we can. This is a great tool for recruiting, for information, and of course, just to show people that we're in the 21st century here. We have a live show every Monday and Thursday, and I even started a rerun episodes on Wednesday, and we'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end of the show. But again, I keep interrupting poor Adam. I guess it's the lack of sleep that's going through my mind right now. So I'll let Adam go ahead and take it from here.
That's all right. As I said, join the friends groups. It's a great way to stay involved, great way to help. We also have the flag program going on where you can purchase the flag or sponsor the flag that's flying over HQ for a month. And that's $200, and that pays for the flag, and that flies over HQ for the month. When the month's over, we send you the flag and send you the certificate saying that this is a flag that has flown over SCV National Headquarters or General Headquarters in Columbia, Tennessee. So I think that's a really cool thing to do. We have, I believe we're through August of next year. We haven't completely sold out all of 2022 yet, but we have a few months remaining. So let's fill up 2022 and start on 2023.
I know for a fact that I'm pretty sure that me and my dad have one in 2022, and we're really excited about it too.
Yep, but your name's on the list for sure. We have of course, we were glad to have the local DAR chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution. They rented Elm Springs this past weekend for their 90th birthday in Columbia, Tennessee. You can rent the banquet room of Elm Springs. We have very reasonable rates. If you have private events that you would like to hold, you can rent out the banquet room. You can also rent the entire property if you'd like to do that. Rates vary what you're wanting to do. No overnight guests, please. Not at this point, but that's something we are thinking about in the future is possibly having a bed and breakfast type room there if anybody would like to spend the night at our headquarters. So just keep following us. We'll keep sharing more information as it comes. One of the events that I always like when it comes fall of the year, my dad and I have always been fans of turkey shoots. And if you're in the Tennessee division, we have one coming up this weekend. The Murfreesboro SCV Camp number 33. They're hosting a turkey shoot this Saturday, the 30th. And it starts at 8 o'clock and ends at 1 p.m. So shout out to those guys. I hope they have a big event. I'm hoping to join you if I can wake up early enough to drive to Murfreesboro.
That's my problem too.
Yeah. That's not enough hours in the day, is it?
Oh no, that's one thing college has taught me is golly, you got to plan things out, or you're not gonna have enough time to do anything. Mm.
Well, so what's going on with you in Mississippi? Any news from your division?
Uh, Hopefully I can have some things I can talk about on the Thursday show. Hint, hint. Tune in for that. Working on confirmation on a couple great events. I was checking the email earlier, getting all of Adam's great pictures that I can't wait for us to talk about ready. And I saw a lot of you guys send some stuff in, so we seem to have a great episode of Look Around the Confederation coming up, and we will even have the Kennedy twins on, and they will give their monthly update on Make Dixie Great Again in the Confederate Legion. I always look forward to that. I don't think I'll be on live for that. I think GCB is going to take over for me there. It's a holiday weekend, as you know. Halloween is this weekend. We usually do a spooky episode, but I'm not going to lie. Time got away from me. I kind of blinked, and I looked up, and dag nabbit, it was Halloween, and I hadn't even planned on anything. So it's been interesting, and then I hopefully have a thing to do this Saturday. And again, I'll hopefully have something ready for you guys Thursday to share more information about that. But I definitely don't want to throw them under the bus if they're not having the event. So, hopefully I'll be at an event Saturday. Sunday I will be spending at a birthday party with a couple of my friends, and then I'll round it up by heading back to the evil town of northern Mississippi in the morning, or I guess that night. Ugh.
I don't guess I've talked to you since fall muster. How did you enjoy that?
Oh my gosh, I fell back into love with reenacting. When I was younger, I reenacted, and I was a powder monkey, I was a flag bearer, but of course, a lot of things change in 10 years. It's been a decade since I reenacted and really got in there. And I was blessed enough to fall under the 3rd Mississippi, who I officially joined. And great group of guys, gave me a great time. They helped this rookie understand everything because I had no idea what I was doing. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I went out there in uniform and a musket in hand, and I prayed that I died nicely. And they gave me a great old time. I was able to be Confederate for my first time. That's always a good one. And next time I'll probably end up being the best bad guy I can be on the Yankee side, and I'm really looking forward to it. And that will be at the Battle of Texas Hospital. We'll plug it on the show when I get a little bit more information. And then on the same weekend, if you're interested, is the Stephen D. Lee Institute at Beauvoir. And so I'm really looking forward to those two great events. I will be at the Battle of Texas Hospital with the 3rd Mississippi. And so it's going to be a nice one. It's going to be a nice one. Yeah, the 3rd Mississippi is full of great men. I got to reenact with a legend on the show. He has his own Face of the SCV video, and it was awesome seeing you again, dude. And I cannot wait to hopefully reenact with you again in the future. I had a great time, and hopefully me and you have a surprise for everybody in the future. He knows what I'm talking about. I can't spoil it. But it's something I really look forward to. Cousin Vinny said, "Am I going to the dark side?" Look, I understand people not wanting to go Yankee, but the Confederates are the heroes of the story. And if you ever watch a movie, you'll know that the only way a hero can be good and be a great hero is they have an even greater villain. And so I've kind of changed my mind about that. I'm While I don't like wearing blue, I like being the best bad guy I can be, so the Confederates come out looking like the good guys they are because they are villainized so much. Jimmy says he enjoyed Fall Muster. I'm glad you did, man. I hope to see you there again next year. I'm going to start going every year from now on. If I can make it, I'll be there. And the legend himself, the winner of the Cross Spatula Award, Mr. Carl Jones, who says he'll be at the SD Lee Institute at Beauvoir. And I cannot wait to hear about that event and see what all y'all do. Let's see here. You got to have someone to shoot. Amen. You got to have someone to shoot. Victor says he refused to wear blue and be part of Lincoln's evil blueberry. Well, Victor, how I look at it is first off, if there's a Lincoln reenactor there, I'm going to call him Dictator Lincoln. And second off, I'm a strong believer that you got to have a bad guy. Our Confederates are always outnumbered usually, and so when you have 300 people dressed in gray and you only have 10 people dressed in blue, we look more like the a-holes than they do. So I don't mind it anymore. I truly believe someone has to be the bad guy. You can ask my dad this story. I cried the first time I did have to wear blue when I was younger. I was not a fan of it, and I wasn't a fan for it for many years. But I think I'll give Captain Don Green that remark. He kind of talked me into it. I haven't been blue yet as a reenactor, but I'm really looking forward to it. And Victor says I'm being nice, calling him a dictator. There's many things I can call him, but we're live on air, and I've already had my quiet time for the day and talking to the Lord, and I really don't want to let him down on the language I'm going to say if I start talking about Lincoln. Yeah, Paul says it does not speak well if the 200 Confederates beat 20 Yanks. and those Yankees have Kevlar vests. They don't go down. You can shoot directly at them, and they'll stay there for 15, 20 minutes. They can really take a bullet. But you can imagine my father being like, "You will wear this and like it." Well, I was a young lad when I cried. I'm not 22 and crying about being a Yankee. I was, golly, if Dad was in the chat, he might remember. I was maybe 11, 12.
This was 2 weeks ago, and
this was 2 weeks ago. This was that fall muster. Yeah, no, Dad calmed me down, and I wore blue. We had to buy me a Union uniform at the reenactment because I didn't have one, and because I was growing at that time at a very alarming rate. I don't think I had anything. We got to have an episode where my dad comes on and tells embarrassing news stories. No, I will quit the show officially, and I'm not joking. But yeah, and you got me talking about reenacting, winning this whole span on how someone has to be the bad guy at the reenactment.
Yeah, let's talk about the Stephen D. Lee Institute. I think you said that's coming up at Beauvoir. Carl's already said he's looking to be in there. I believe Carl is one of the speakers this year, right?
I believe so. I would like. I know past CIC Chuck McMichael's in charge of it, if I'm not mistaken. We talked about it for a bit on the episode he came on, talking about the future of the SCV and the future of Confederates as a whole. And I was very interested on the topic. I have always wanted to go to the S.D. Lee Institute. And so, with it being at Beauvoir, I would say I was very interested. And, it's just a conflict thing. I got the reenactment on the same week. And so, and I just joined the 3rd Mississippi, so I feel bad for leaving them out. Jake asked if I'll join them at Camp Moore. I don't think so. I'll have to. What's the date for that again? Again, I'm sorry. I just joined. I'm trying my best. I'm still in college, so my budget and my travel expenses are very low. If my father's going to a reenactment, I will definitely hide in his suitcase. But it more focused on right now what me and him can go to because he is a very busy man himself. He works hard. Commander Paul says he'll be at the S.D. Lee Institute, and Mr. Donnie Kennedy, if I'm not mistaken, our Chief of Heritage Operations is speaking there. And again, I would have loved to see that. Let's see here. But yeah, no, we'll try to do a video promoting that soon. I'll have past CIC Chuck McMichael come on and talk about it and what all he's hoping is. When is it? It's February 20th, I believe. I could be wrong. Let me check my calendar. I know it's the weekend. Might be the 26th, maybe the 19th. James, You are going to have to tune into that episode where we talk about the SD Lee Institute. I'm going on a brain fart right now. But, I didn't know Commander Gremlin was going to be a speaker. I'm learning everything new. I was on that episode too. That's shows my short attention span. Or it shows that college is making me put useless information out, and here we are. Camp Moore is on November 20th through the 22nd. I do not believe I'll be able to make that. I wish I could. Oh, we got the 3rd Mississippi Chaplain on. I'm glad you could join us, Mr. Jimmy. It was an honor to finally join y'all. I've been talking about it for so long. It felt great to finally do it. Someone says I'm too young to have memory issues. My body feels like I'm 55. I've done a horrible job keeping it up and doing stupid things. But again, I want to say thank you guys for definitely letting me join. As I said, I've been talking about it for a long time, and I put it off for a long time too because I just didn't know if I was going to like it the same way I did when I was younger. But oh my gosh, it was amazing, and I'm so happy about it. Stephen D. Lee's Institute is on the 18th and the 19th, and the Battle for Texas Hospital is on the 19th and the 20th. So, of course, if you're in the area, we would love for you to make it to both if you can. Show out to both these great events. They're awesome. I love the Battle of Texas Hospital. My camp always sets up a booth there. So, I mean, it is awesome. Could you announce the memorial event? Jake, if you email us at scvyouthOutreach@gmail.com, give me the full rundown. I will make sure it's on Thursday's show. But I need, a little. I need the email, or I'll forget because as I said, college is just filling me with nonsense information. But
Yep. So looking forward to the Stephen D. Lee coming up. I know I'll be there for sure. 18th and 19th. I always love to go to the Gulf Coast if I can, especially see Beauvoir. Beautiful place. Almost as beautiful. I'm going to say they're on equal footing, Elm Springs and Beauvoir. So, coming up at Elm Springs, December 3rd and 4th is our annual Christmas home tour that we participate in. And there he is. There's SCV Santa. This is SCV. Not many people know that Santa is an SCV member, and he's coming down to Elm Springs, and he's going to be Confederate Santa for us on December 4th. So bring your kids. We'll get to visit with Santa for free, and we'll have a photographer there on site to take pictures and send them to you. All this is part of the Merry Christmas Historic Home Tour. And then coming up on January 1st. January 1st, we're going to have our annual black eyed pea and cabbage dinner at Elm Springs. So you have to have those good luck foods on the 1st. So come and get your fill of cabbage and black eyed peas with us on January 1st.
Y'all evil for doing that because I'm not going to be anywhere near Elm Springs that day, sadly. So y'all are evil for having that day. Y'all just evil.
Good cornbread too. So if you miss out, you're missing some good grub. And of course, that is a fundraiser for the beautification and restoration of historic Elm Springs. And I think now might be a good time for a commercial, producer.
Oh yeah, let me get the commercial ready. But yeah, if you can, please go out and support Elm Springs. They have great events all the time. Me and Adam can attest that they have great food all the time. Yeah. And I mean, Elm Springs is a very beautiful property anyway. And not to mention now, after the Forrest reinterment, is the final resting place for General Forrest and his lovely wife. So you can go pay your respects there. You can pay respects at the Confederate Monument that represents, all of our Confederates that have lost their lives defending the South, their homes, and making sure that we can get together and talk about our heritage freely. They sacrificed a great deal for us. So yeah, make sure you can go to Elm Springs, honor the property, and have a great time with the many great span of events that y'all have there. I mean, it's not just like one type of event. I mean, they have Christmas, Halloween, many things.
And if you haven't toured the house in probably a year, it's changed since the last time you've been there. So definitely come and visit us again. And the museum's constantly changing, constantly adding new items. So if you haven't been in a while, come back because I guarantee you it'll be different and better.
Oh yeah, Elm Springs is always great. Every time I go, I'm blessed to meet my great friends up there who are working hard to make sure it's beautiful, the museum and Elm Springs. And I'm pretty sure Adam still owes me a tour because every time I go up there, I'm working, so I can't do a tour. So I guess I'm gonna have to come up there when I'm a little freer from Connor's grasps and get Adam to give me a tour of Elm Springs because it is a beautiful home, which we're about to see here. I got the commercial lined up, so we'll be right back after this commercial break.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost. Stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
Lovely video. I get chills every time I see it. That's probably one of my favorite videos we have for commercials, right behind Connor's because I know it makes him angry when I play it. But please remember that our commercials are brought to you by our sponsors, Victory Flags and More, and you can visit them at www.victoryflagsandmore.com and the Confederate Legion. And you can go visit them at www.makedixiegreatagain.org. Both great causes. If you need some stuff to show you Confederate pride, you'll get out of me eventually. Please go to Victory Flags and More. And if you're looking to defend your Confederate heritage in the 21st century, please go to Make Dixie Great Again. With that, let's go into more about what some awesome talking points you have for tonight.
Yeah, well, I just can't get over that video. Forrest Dawes has become the Conway Twitty of the Confederacy. I have a group of women that have your dad saying, "Hello, darling," and they will listen to that on occasion. So, your dad has become a sex symbol in the Confederation. So,
please tell me my dad is watching right now. Wait, time out. I'm clipping that.
I think we need a shirt that says "If walls talk," and I love the way he says it. It's so Mississippi. TAWK. If walls could talk, and that makes the video for me.
I'm just still stuck on the fact that on an episode where I'm the host, we somehow get on the topic that my father has turned into the SCV sex symbol.
Well, I mean, you're turning about as red as the flag behind you, so I don't know why you're embarrassed there. So,
thank you, thank you for this. I'm going to remember this, Adam.
Hey,
I'm in charge of the gag reel.
Had to follow footsteps of your father there, brother.
I got to get my voice deeper, and I got to become a sex symbol to the Confederation. That is my destiny now.
That's your destiny. Well, let's get started with the pictures I emailed to you.
Vinny says I'm as red as the Third National. Thank you, Vinny. All right, so what are you going to talk about tonight?
Well, we're going to talk about one of our newest acquisitions to the museum, and this is something that I really couldn't talk about last month because I really, words escape me when I try to think back about the forest reinterment and all the things we did. I mean, this is one of the biggest events that I've been a part of, and I'm just proud for the small role that I played in that I got to do that. But we are now, if you saw the commercial that we just played, underneath that big, beautiful statue, it's now General Forrest's original casket that he was buried in. That right there. So he was originally buried in Elmwood Cemetery in Memphis, and then when they reburied him for the second time to place him under the monument there in Forest Park, this would have been the casket they put him in, and it was cast iron. Some say that it was copper lined over cast iron, but if the copper was there, it's now gone. All cast iron. And then in this picture that's now on the screen, you can see the handles of Miss Mary Forrest coffin. That's all that remained of her casket. Her casket was wooden, so it did not survive. His did. So these are now on display that you can come and see at the museum. And do you have a picture of that shield?
Yeah, I got a picture of the shield.
This is really neat. It hasn't been on display very long, so people in the chat are probably some of the first people to get to see this. This is an Oddfellows shield. General Forrest was a member of the Oddfellows, and Chickasaw Lodge number 8, International Order of the Oddfellows. They placed this shield, and it has some of the Oddfellows symbology there on it. At the bottom, you can see the 3 lengths of chain. At top, it has more Oddfellows symbols. So, kind of a cool piece that came off of his casket that's now on display at the National Confederate Museum. And you just walk into our museum now in the back where that large stained glass window is, and underneath that is General Forrest's casket. I mean, just
I remember seeing that casket for the first time.
Words escape me thinking about that being in there. And like you said, what were you thinking when you first saw it?
I got goosebumps, and I tell people all the time that that weekend was one of the greatest weekends of my life. It was one of the greatest honors I ever had, escorting General Forrest to his final resting place. And when I saw that casket, I got to see it at the Boyhood Home and Elm Springs. And I will admit, at Elm Springs, it hit me a little harder. I was able to go up to it a little bit closer, and golly, I got goosebumps, hair standing up on the back of my neck, and I got choked up. Like you said, words escaped me because Dad asked me, how was that? We just saw, the new caskets of the general. You saw his old casket. You're paying respects to, even Robert E. Lee would say, who's the greatest general in the war? And he said, a man that I never met, General Forrest. And to see the General Forrest, I was starstruck. It was amazing. I lost any ability to communicate to my father. And I mean, it just was like, wow. And to this day, yeah, I think back on it. I made a short, little paragraph how I felt about everything, and I still don't feel like I covered it all.
No, I mean, that was a very powerful event, and it was so many emotions going on for that week because you were so glad to, be able to bring the general to his final resting place. But it was also, wasn't a celebration. It was still a funeral. We were burying our dead. And when I see that casket, every time I walk by this casket in the back of our museum, I'm reminded of the event and how powerful it was. And I haven't even been able to write the panels to go with the casket yet because words still escape me. And you're right, Commander. It was a special weekend, and um, it was really special for me and several of our camp members from the local Camp 29 in Columbia. Because when that casket arrived, we were the only ones there, so we got to carry the casket in to Elm Springs for display. And boy, to be old as it is, it's still heavy. Still very much a cast iron casket, and as heavy as it sounds, it was. It was very extremely heavy. Um, but just to think, only a few people have probably carried or touched that casket since it was created, and I'm now one of those people. And to be able to be one of his pallbearers the next day, I mean, man, it's something else. But what other pictures did the small vaults there?
You talking about the nice little replicas? It looks like.
Replicas.
All right, I got them.
If you were there at the funeral service on the 18th of September, you saw the real versions of these. These were the models, the prototypes of the vaults that we placed the caskets in. That's Mrs. Forrest's vault right there, and you can see it has the picture of General Forrest carrying her where her wagon was stuck. That's a depiction of that. So that's on her vault, and then on his looks to be the seal of the Confederacy, and just beautiful vaults. And I know they're state of the art, have warranties where they won't leak, or they'll be airtight for hundreds of years to come. So what we place in the grave will be preserved for generations to come, and show the next pictures of the concrete work that's been done.
At the bottom of the page.
Yeah, sorry.
There they are.
But this happened just 2 weeks ago. We now have the concrete slab over General Forrest and Mrs. Forrest's grave, so they're not going anywhere now. This is the concrete as it was still wet. They had just finished smoothing it out. If anybody plans to remove them again, they're definitely going to have to work at it because it's not going to be easy for them, and it's not going to happen. It's their own SCV property and will be protected for years to come. But this is in place now, and the next stage will be to get the equestrian statue back. And once that happens, it'll be a celebration. But unfortunately, we don't have really a timeline to give you on that, but there are plans for it to happen. Just we don't know when. There are some other forest items that have come to the museum. And let's see which one comes first. Yeah, this is the forest vest. And SCV Santa Claus, he's the one who loaned this to us. So, so Santa has brought us a gift early to the museum. And we believe this is General Forrest's vest. It has been forensically tested, and that is a blood stain there on the vest. We believe this is the vest that he was wearing after he was wounded at the Battle of Falling Timbers, and that is his blood stain. So I'm told that the owners of the vest will be taking this to have DNA testing done to verify that this is his blood. And once they have that testing done, they will bring it back to the museum for display again. But right now, it's on display until they have the testing done. So that's another you really need to get to the museum to see. Not only do we have Forrest's casket, we have something that General Forrest wore and has his blood on it. So
y'all hit me left and right tonight. Y'all have so many great events coming up. all this new stuff. I haven't got to see the museum in a long time, actually. During the retirement weekend, I planned to go into the museum, but I just lost track of time and we had to leave and get ready. And then, before that, I can't remember why I didn't go. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I will probably be visiting you all soon. No telling when, but I know I'll get talked to go back up there sooner or later. And I cannot wait to see it. Museum's always great to go into, and I mean it's a beautiful museum, and of course, learning your history and seeing these artifacts. I mean, like I got breathtaking just by seeing General Forrest's vest, and I mean all the stuff y'all have in there now. I mean, it's just wow.
And then the last item that, as far as related, that we have, another recent acquisition that's also on loan to us is this portrait. Brian Turner out of Florida, an SCV member, purchased this at auction, and it was billed at the auction as being a pre-war painting of General Nathan Bedford Forrest. And we really don't know of any pre-war paintings other than this one. And it still hasn't been verified, but we're still working to research it and verify it. But man, you look around the eyes of that portrait, and I think the eyes really tell you that that's General Forrest. Looks just like, and would have been an 1850s portrait about the time he was an alderman in Memphis. And it's been verified that this is an 1850s painting, so that matches. It's just finding the evidence that he actually sat down for the portrait and finding out who the artist was. But like I said, we're still working on that. If you ask me, I'd say it is a painting of General Forrest in pre-war. Uh, but I can't give you any more evidence other than what I think. But
Y'all are evil for getting all this great General Forrest stuff after I visited the museum a couple times. Y'all evil for that, man. That's just.
Well, we want to bring it back. We want to bring.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And that's one of the great things is anytime you go to this museum, everybody, there's always something new to see and always something new to learn. And not to mention the awesome gift shop we have, books we have. We're working on building the library right now. And right now, it's already got so many great books in there, but there's room for more and to expand our knowledge because at the rate the country's going, I believe we all know that we have to educate ourselves on matters now. And it's a lot easier if you have a library that has all the great books and sources you need for history, papers, or books, or just learning in general.
Yeah, absolutely. So, there are so many books that are common. You walk into any library, you're going to see probably the same books across the nation. But there are books that are rare and hard to find, and books that are self-published, and those are the books that I'm really interested in acquiring for our library at Elm Springs. If your SCV camp has put out anything, or your local UDC chapter has put out anything in your community about Confederates specifically in your area, see if you can get a copy of that and send it to us at HQ, because we would love to add that to our library. Those are the books that are hard to find, and those are the great resources where you find out so much about the unsung heroes of the war. Because everybody knows the generals, everybody knows the colonels, but you get down to the foot soldier. Those were the guys that were doing the work. They were the ones who made the generals famous, and those are our ancestors. We need to be proud of them. We need to learn about them. So, if you have books to send, our address is 2357 Park Plus Drive in Columbia, and it's on our website. So you can mail things there. Just stop by and see us, and bring it with you when you come for a visit.
Mr. Sean asked, do you guys take newspaper clippings of famous events during the war?
We do. We have a vertical file that we're working on building as well. So that's part of our library. We have a lot of pamphlets, a lot of newspaper clippings out of other publications as well, magazines and what have you. So we're working to build our vertical files with those. So if you have those and would like to send them to us, same address, or stop by and see us.
Yeah, and of course, if you're having any problems finding these addresses, or if you forgot, the National Museum has its own Facebook page, and Elm Springs has its own Facebook page. And of course, if you want to keep up with the stuff happening at Elm Springs, of course, tune into our Hearth and Home episodes. But a great way to stay in touch is, of course, going by their Facebook pages, giving it a like, leaving positive reviews, positive comments, liking, because when we get these big pages and these big things we're trying to do and really make something special, it attracts attention from trolls, and they are very negative, and they're not open-minded, so they're saying things that aren't true. They're lying, they're cussing, they're saying things that should not be on a public page where family members can go visit. So make sure to go leave a nice comment, like, follow the page, and leave a good review.
Well said. Couldn't have said it better myself, producer.
Thank you. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I just encourage everybody to come see us. If you're wanting to make a trip to Elm Springs, I would encourage you to come on the 3rd and 4th of December, and that way you can participate in the historic home tour of Murray County. You can see not only Elm Springs, but many of the other historic sites in and around Columbia, Tennessee. We're proud to be part of the historic community in Columbia and Murray County, and Elm Springs has been around since 1837, so we're one of the most historic sites out there, and trying to be a leader in the historic community here, and would love to bring and be able to tell the community and the city leaders, especially, the SCV is bringing a lot to our community, and I think we can prove that by the number of people that came into town and stayed in hotels, shopped in the stores, went to eat in the restaurants during our past events. But it's always good to be able to point at these different events and say, look, the SCV is making an impact in our local economy. And, we're not the bad guys here. So.
Yeah, and I think that's something important to remember. If you have the ability to go to these events, if you find an event that you find interesting, and of course, just supporting local camps, SCV events, like Elm Springs, like the museum, any camp events we've talked about tonight, or we'll talk about in the future. People have been painting us in a bad light for so long that we have to rebuild our image. And it's through our actions that people will really start to notice that. So if you are at an event, I'm with the SCV. I hope we've helped tonight. I hope we've done this and that. I mean, when we sold out Catfish Campus, I mean, that was impressive. And the owners of that restaurant know the SCV showed up. They ate our food. They made a nice impact on our restaurant that night. And I mean, the forest reinterment in general had a great impact on the economy. And I mean, we just got to show people in the community and around the United States of America that we are a good organization, we're good people, and all these people that have been painting us in bad lights, just they don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
So,
when you're talking to politicians, it's always good to be able to talk money, and when that's when they'll pay attention. And the SCV and staying at the hotels, the local economy here in Columbia, they get a lot of adequate facilities taxes and a lot of tourism dollars off of those people staying in hotel rooms. And of course, all the tax generated from the stores and the gas and restaurants, that doesn't hurt either. But to say we sold out probably 10 hotels when we had the forest event in September, that made a lot of people in Columbia pay attention to what we're doing. And if you want one of those prints, just give us a call. They're $20. I think that's the best deal in our museum right now in the gift shop, Defending Elm Springs.
Yeah, Defending Elm Springs. We also got another question for you here. They're asking if there's any more of the cockades left.
Actually, we purchased those from a site called Creative Cockade, so you can order those directly from her if you want one now. We have a different cockade in stock now. It's not like the one that was on the program, but the one that was on the program is from Creative Cockade. So if you'd like that one, go visit their website, and they'll be happy to sell you one, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. With that, Adam, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think I'm good. I just appreciate you having me on. I always enjoy the Hearth and Home episode, fourth Monday of the month. So looking forward to our next one.
Oh, me too. I always enjoy it because I'm a big history nerd. I'm a big museum nerd. I love going to museums around the nation. So to have a museum that I can call my own and tell history where I can say it's historically correct, it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to me that y'all are doing so much and staying involved in the community in ways that, it's really awesome. I mean, they hold a lot of events. They work their butt off for us. And, I'm happy to show light on it and just be a part of something that shows the light and, shows everything y'all are doing. So remember the events on December 3rd and 4th. You get to go see the Confederate Santa Claus, if I'm not mistaken. Santa Claus is an SCV member, confirmed.
Yep.
And let's see here before I forget. Please remember to tune in for Look Around the Confederation this Thursday at 7 p.m. Confederate Standard Time. And if you want to have a camp project or a visit project and you want to be featured on the show, or you have any pictures, short write-ups, or videos, please send them to scvyouthOutreach@gmail.com. This week we will have the Kennedy twins on, and they will be talking about how every camp needs to get involved in the community and to know what the SCV is truly about. I cannot wait to see that this Thursday. Sadly, I will not be here, but I'll definitely be tuning in live and cheering y'all on and learning from y'all the best way I can. And let's also remember that we are starting to do Replay Wednesdays, where we go back in time and watch an SCV episode of the past. We have reruns now. We've gotten that long. Ooh, we've been at this for a while. This Wednesday, I have picked out a special episode for y'all. It is the episode on Dixie Rising, our instructions how to fight for Confederate heritage in the 21st century the right way. Of course, written by our guest for this Thursday, the Kennedy twins. So that's a great episode that you would want to rewatch it. I'm going to be rewatching it Wednesday, even though I was a part of it. And I will be, of course, ordering the book as soon as I have money and studying up on that because, there's always ways you can make us fighting for our heritage better and smarter. And we can never be obliged to learning new things to defend our Confederate heritage, especially with how the world is turning right now. You never know how it's going to be. And the bad guys can get away with everything, but we cannot. So we have to do smart. And that's what this Wednesday's rerun's about. And again, I will see you Thursday. Well, I won't see you Thursday, but we'll have a great episode for you Thursday on Look Around the Confederation. Without further ado, if Adam has anything else he wants to add about lovely Elm Springs and, of course, our Confederate Museum, he is welcome to.
I think that's it. I just hope you will come see us. And I think Harrison said, find us on Facebook. We've got very active sites there. Find us on our website. We're out there for you to find online. But come see us in person especially. And God bless Dixie.
God bless Dixie. And until next time, my friends, please remember there is no Fumar in the elevator and no rare frop.
Rare frop.